Hi, Standard 8 candidates. I welcome you all to our science lesson. Pupils, today we are going to have a look on food and nutrition. Still in food and nutrition, we are going to talk about special groups. Pupils, when we talk about special groups, these are people with the special nutritional requirements. Candidates, example of special groups are infants, lactating mothers. When we talk about lactating mothers, these are mothers who are, we call them nursing mothers. We have expectant mothers. We have invalids. Invalids, we call them also the sick. We have the convalescents. The convalescents also, we call them people recovering from illness. We have HIV and AIDS patients. We have those people who are diabetic. We have manual workers, those people who use more calories to do work. We have the elderly. These are the people who are aged. They have more years. And of course, there are special people whom we call vegetarian candidates. Vegetarian, they feed only on vegetables. The classification of special groups depends on age and the health of the person. Number one, we want to talk about nutritional needs of an expectant mother. Nutritional needs of an expectant mother. Expectant mother candidates are women who are pregnant. Expectant mothers need a balanced diet. They need to eat food rich in carbohydrates, for energy also known as energy-giving foods. Proteins also known as body-building foods. Vitamins also known as protective foods. And lastly, they need mineral salts. We want to talk each of the food group and what it gives to the expectant mother. Carbohydrates, they are required to provide the body with energy. Sources of carbohydrates are as follows. We have bread, we have ugali, we have potatoes, we have chapatis, we have biscuits, we have rice, we have green bananas, we have maize, we have millet, we have sugarcane, we have yams, we have cassavas, we have arrowroots, we have honey, and lastly, we have zim. The second type of food is proteins. Proteins, they are required for proper growth and development of the baby. Sources of protein are as follows: fish, beans, sardines, milk, eggs, green grams, njahi, beef, chicken, groundnuts. Proteins are also required for milk formation because the mother is going to breastfeed the baby. Next is calcium. Candidates, An expectant mother requires calcium for the development of strong bones of the foetus. The foetus is the baby which is in the stomach. The baby in the stomach is referred to us as the foetus or fetus. Sources of calcium are milk, cheese, fish, bone soup, millet, and the matumbo. Candidates, matumbo are the intestines. They also need iron. Iron is useful in formation of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a pigment in red blood cells. Enough iron enhances enough blood for the mother and the fetus. Sources of iron are as follows. We have liver, kidney, meat, eggs, kales, also known as sukuma wiki, spinach, green leafy vegetables, and beans. Candidates, we now move to vitamin. Vitamins are required to provide protection against diseases. So, expectant mothers should eat adequate fruits and vegetables. These foods also help to prevent constipation. Candidates also, they need what we call lavages. Lavages, another name for lavage is fiber. Fruits and vegetables are important sources of lavages. Lavages have no nutritive value but assist in digestion. When we talked about the digestive system, digestion is the removal of waste products from the body. So if they take enough foods rich in ravage or fiber, it enables them to get rid of waste products from the body, that is digestion. They need vitamin D. For what? Candidates, vitamin D is required for strong bones of the developing fetus. Sources of vitamin D are eggs, milk, cheese, and margarine. I want to note this. An expectant mother should avoid taking soda, tea, coffee, smoking, and taking alcohol. Drugs may affect the fetus negatively. Expectant mother also, they need fats and oils. They provide energy. Large quantities should be avoided because it leads to heartburn, nausea, and indigestion. Indigestion is also referred to as constipation. Sources of fats and oils. Candidates, there is a difference between fats and oils. Fats are in solid form and oils are in liquid form. Sources of fats from animals are as follows. We have butter, bacon, cod, liver, oil from fish. We have ghee. We have cheese. Fats and oils from plants are coconuts, groundnuts, cashew nuts, cooking fat, salads like corn oil, and the margarine. Next, we move to nutritional requirements for a lactating matter. Nutritional requirements for a lactating mother. A lactating mother is a breastfeeding mother. A breastfeeding mother needs a balanced diet. In the balanced diet for lactating mothers, the following should be given with special attention. 1, proteins required to repair and the production of adequate milk. 2, carbohydrates provide energy to the lactating mother. 3, phosphorus, calcium, and the magnesium needed for strong bones and the teeth of the baby. 4, enough fluids like water for maximum production of milk, breast milk. Next is nutritional requirements for infants, nutrition for infants. Candidates: infants are newborn babies below the age of 2 years. Infants are exclusively fed on milk for 4 to 6 months before weaning. What is weaning? Weaning is the introduction of solid foods. Afterwards, the infant feeds on breast milk with other semi-solid food introduced gradually. Examples of such foods are mashed bananas or mashed potatoes. The mashed potatoes and mashed bananas is the best to start weaning. We have said weaning is the introduction of solid foods to a baby at the age of 6 months. Breast milk. Breast milk is a fluid produced by the mammary glands of the mother. The first milk from the mother soon after giving birth is known as colostrum. Colostrum is thick, yellowish in color. Colostrum is thick, yellowish in color. The main function of colostrum is to boost the baby's immunity, that is to make the body able to fight against diseases, that is body defense system. Candidates, what are the advantages of breast milk? Everything with advantage has the disadvantage. So let us start with the advantages. 1, it is at the right temperature. 2, it provides immunity. 3, it is a balanced diet. 4, it bonds the relationship between the mother and the baby. 5, it is convenient. 6, it is germ-free. 7, it improves the mental development of the baby. Lastly, breast milk is easily digested. Now we move candidates to the disadvantages of breastfeeding or breast milk. Breast milk, 1, may not be available in case the mother passes on. 2, it curtails the movement of the mother since she has to be present to provide the baby with breast milk. Advantages of bottle feeding, that's cup. The mother has time to do other activities. It is easy to leave the baby under the care of a house help. Disadvantages of bottle feeding or cup, it is not convenient. The baby may be allergic to cow's milk. It does not bond the relationship between the mother and the child. Bottle food may not be balanced. Another disadvantage is may cause problems of digestion. Bottles may easily contaminated, so they should therefore be handled well to avoid food poisoning. Nibbles should be washed in boiled water. Candidates, now we move to nutritional needs of people infected with HIV and AIDS. Nutritional needs of people infected with HIV and AIDS. This group should fed on a balanced diet constituting of proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, fiber, and plenty of fluids and water. How to help them regain appetite? How do you help people infected with HIV/AIDS to regain appetite, to have that ability of eating? 1, use chilies and vinegar. 2, use of ginger and coriander. Coriander is Indania. Exercise before meal time. They can jog on the spot. They stretch so that you increase the appetite of eating. 4, drink at least 8 glasses of water to help remove poisons from the body. What are the uses of ginger? Ginger, it is commonly known as tangawizi. Ginger helps in digestion. It increases the appetite. It controls fungi and the bacteria. It improves the flavor of the food. When we talk about the flavor, this is the taste. How to help them have digestion? How can you help people living with HIV/AIDS to have good digestion? They must only eat when they are hungry. They must eat wholesome food. avoid refined foods like brown bread, brown chapati, and wholesome wheat. Provide fruits and vegetables. They must not eat fast to help in mixing of food with saliva. Include pineapple and the pawpaw. This helps in digestion. Eat ginger, coriander, that is in Dania, and the cloves as well as cinnamon. How to help the large intestine to deal with food. These are people infected with HIV. Feed them on diet rich in fiber. Examples of these foods are whole meal, whole wheat, brown bread, millet, cabbages, cowpeas, leaves, carrots, garlic, green banana, palms, rinds of citrus fruits, green banana, mangoes, pawpaws, pumpkins, passion fruits, ripe bananas, pears, apples, and lemons. Give them fermented milk. This improves digestion. Give coconut oil or milk. Note that cabbages should be given when raw or fermented cabbage, juicy. Raw garlic stops increasing of HIV and kills other germs. I repeat, raw and cooked garlic, commonly known as kitungu saumu, stops increasing of HIV and kills other germs. How to choose foods that make their excretory system work well. Candidates: have fresh foods, salads, and fruits. Feed on less meat and more plant protein. Take small quantities of meals regularly. Avoid alcohol or beer. And note, fried foods are not part of nutritional requirements for any of the special needs. I repeat, fried foods are not part of nutritional requirements for any of the special groups. Now, candidates, we move to food poisoning. Food poisoning is an illness caused by eating contaminated foods. This illness mainly attack the stomach, but could also spread to other parts of the body. Causes of food poisoning. Things that cause food poisoning are called food contaminants or food poisoning agents. There are two main causes of food poisoning. Causes of food poisoning. These are chemicals and microorganisms. Chemicals that could cause food poisoning at home are fertilizers, kerosene, pesticides, detergents, insecticides, some cosmetics, herbicides, antiseptics, and bleaching agents. The second one is chemicals. The second one is microorganisms. Microorganisms that may cause food poisoning are bacteria and fungi. Microorganisms are usually small, tiny, living things. This occurs when the food is not properly stored. I want you to note the following. When people store chemicals and food together, the chemicals can accidentally mix with food and cause food poisoning. 2, chemicals should therefore not be stored near foods. When people apply chemicals and eat food without washing their hands, it can cause food poisoning. Some naturally existing chemicals are found in maize, stored in damp places, some parts of cassava or potatoes, and beans. Moldy foods such as maize, bluish in color, produce a chemical called aflatoxin. Aflatoxin, which causes food poisoning and can lead to death. Beans contain chemicals that may cause stomachache, bloating, that is much gases in the stomach, and the vomiting due to the chemical that causes food poisoning in beans. They should be soaked overnight and the water used for soaking boiled away before cooking. This prevents food poisoning. Avoid eating green or sprouting parts of potatoes because they contain poisonous substances. Protein foods, poorly stored, can go bad quickly due to contamination by microorganisms. So avoid eating moldy fruits. They contain dangerous fungi. What are the symptoms of food poisoning? 1 is persistent vomiting. 2, violent diarrhea. 3, fever. 4, body weakness. 5, dizziness. 6, constipation. And then lastly, but not least, severe stomachache and abdominal pain. Candidates, we move to ways of preventing food poisoning. How can you prevent somebody or one from food poisoning? To avoid food poisoning, hygienic food handling practices must be observed. Such practices include number one, store food properly. All stored foods should be covered to prevent contamination. 2, clean foodstuffs from kiosks, markets, and food sellers. 3, buying fresh fruits and vegetables. Buy the fruits in season. 4, do not buy expired foods. Always check the expiry dates. Do not buy foodstuffs that do not indicate the expiry or whose date has expired. 5, do not buy damaged foods that are infested with pests such as weevils or those that are moldy. 6, food stores and the cupboards should have adequate space and a mesh that allows air circulation. They should also be protected against dust, insects, and rodents. 7, always store food under the right conditions, such as dry and cool places. This prevents food from going bad. 8, fruits and vegetables that are eaten raw should be washed thoroughly before serving. 9, wastes from the kitchen should be disposed of properly away from foods. 9, food remains should be reheated properly under high temperatures before being served. Frozen foods should be allowed to fully boil before use. 10, food leftovers should be cooled completely before storage. 11, medicines, detergents, fuels, and other household chemicals should not be stored near foods. Lastly, but not least, fruits and vegetables that are eaten raw should be washed thoroughly before serving. Candidates, up to that point, we have come to the end of our today's lesson. I wish you a good day until we meet next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.